Hello, and welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Litmansky, and I'm here today with...
Justin DeClue, go!
And Colin Cunningham. Podcast our go.
Podcast Go. Okay, so we're talking about a movie that is from 2004 called Thunderbirds. Just Thunderbirds. Not Thunderbirds or Go.
No, Thunderbirds.
Which was a TV show that came out.
Well, Thunderbirds was the TV
Well, I
show.
know, but
It was just called Thunderbirds, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is
I think
Colin's
the movie,
pick.
was there a movie called Thunderbirds or Go?
There were two
TV
movies.
show, right?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So there was a TV show in the 50s or 60s, Thunderbirds, and then there was two movies, and then there was this movie in 2004, and then there was a TV show made by Weta after this, which was like a mix of like CG and miniatures.
Was that
Did it have miniatures? Because I just clicked and I saw their faces and I went, ugh.
No, so, well, maybe we should go back to the beginning. First of all, I don't even know why I picked this. I think Justin, I don't know.
You're blaming it on Justin for some reason.
I've never seen this movie.
I don't know, but we were talking about, I don't know why.
You think it,
Were
you
we
thought
talking
it
about the
came up?
director?
Yeah.
I mean, I should have been like, we got to watch Clock Stoppers.
I mean, maybe.
2002 Jonathan Frakes movie.
Well, I'm the other director that's starring in this movie.
Yes.
Director of
Brutalist himself.
Director of The Brutalist.
He's not the brutalist.
Brady Corbet or
Well,
Corbet.
some could say he is the brutalist.
Brady Corbet, who I had no
Corbet.
idea was
Ryan
in
Felipe.
this movie.
Yeah,
I do say Ryan Felipe. Is that not how you say it?
I think that's
That's how
right.
you say
I
it.
had no idea he was in this. I knew he was an actor. I've actually seen him in many movies, but I was like, holy shit. Mr. who is nominated for a Best
Oscar,
Director
yeah.
and Oscar, who has tons of Oscar nominations for his movie right now, is in Thunderbird.
Now, I had no idea, and I was so sure, Justin, that you said something in the past couple of episodes that we recorded that just like triggered something in my brain.
Maybe I
was like,
said, we should do Thunderbirds. And then I just we should do Thunderbirds. Eh?
thought you said something like, "Oh, the kid is in Thunderbirds" or something, or the director of The Brutalist.
No.
is in Thunderbirds.
It's just a total coincidence
Okay.
that he's in this.
Maybe you
I
mentioned
think.
Thunderbirds. I don't know, but it was on my list for a very long time because I've never seen it before.
Well, remember, like,
neither.
I think it was like during the pandemic, we like one night we watched like all like the intros to the Jerry Anderson shows because
those
they
intros
have
are so good.
the
I
best
know.
songs.
They are so great. Now,
UFO, right?
yeah, so UFO, that was one of his live action. So people who don't know Jerry Anderson, this movie was so weird because I don't think his shows are known much outside of the UK.
I think maybe a little bit, but not really.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably not. I think they played a lot into syndication. So if you're 50 years old, you probably know his shows.
Yeah,
But beyond that, or before that, I don't think people are aware.
They
of it
played
very
like super, super early in the morning on YTV, I remember.
I remember YTV when I was going to Sheridan. They would play them late at night on Friday night, I think. And they would start like a whole run. They would start from like, I think like Fireball XL5. And they would play Stingray.
Are these shows?
These are shows. And then they would go into like Thunderbirds and then Captain Scarlet. And each show got more and more realistic, like the marionettes. And by the time, Captain Scarlet came on, you'd be kind of like drunk and watching these
drunk
things
or
that are
high.
kind of like almost real looking. And you're like, I don't know what the hell's going on. But Jerry Anderson, he was like a famous kind of, I don't know, TV producer and stuff like that. I don't know. He wrote a few movies.
So he wasn't like a puppet guy?
I don't think so. And then he wrote some live action movies. I forget the name of them. But then he got into doing Super Marionation. All the shows started with presented in Super Marionation. And then he just got known for doing these like puppet shows.
Well, I mean, this has a somewhat of a connection, Justin, to the current Patreon series you're doing of a rewatch of Evangelion, because the theme song to UFO was supposedly inspirational to the opening theme song of Evangelion, and visually. And if you watch them, it's very similar. Some people say, "Oh, it's just a coincidence," but it does like the flash frames to like the black and white text.
I thought he even like said as much, like the director.
who Ano?
Yeah.
Maybe.
But so like Captain
Oh,
Scarlet.
I thought we were talking about the anime Thunderbirds 2086, which is a Japanese anime inspired.
I am not surprised at all that there was an anime.
So there was a Japanimation, or Japanimation. That's just the term for anime in the 80s. There was a like puppet show that Japan made, and I can't find the title of it. where it was like all kind of like in the same Thunderbird style.
But it was in the 80s?
It's not Thunderbirds 2086. I can't figure out what it is.
Well, he went into, and I completely
it's
forgot.
called X-Bomber. X-Bomber.
Oh,
So
okay.
if people want like a mech, but it's like
It's a
in
puppet?
1980 and it's like Thunderbirds, check out X-Bomber.
That's really cool. And I'd completely forgotten that he got into live action. So UFO is like, I think his first show. And then Space 1999 with Martin Landau, which was, I remember it all the time growing up. And all these shows have the best fucking opening theme songs. Like, they're so
like,
cool.
Were they all written by the same person?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They all have this, like, especially Captain Scarlet was one of my favorites. It was
All right.
like,
I meant to rewatch them before we recorded this, but I forgot. So I'm sure there's a playlist on YouTube out there somewhere.
oh, yeah. UFO is fantastic.
The
as
UFO
we
one I
know.
remember.
Space 1999 has got like this 70s wah guitar.
Yeah, okay.
It's really great.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's really fun. And just the fashion on that show is terrific.
Oh man, I'm just watching Jerry Anderson's UFO 1970. It even has the big block of white text on black. In the openings.
That's what I was saying. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
exactly
it's
Evangelion.
very Evangelion, and also Evangelion. I mean, one of the greatest anime OPs of all time. But it's referencing another very popular OP. Well, maybe not popular, but very very good.
Well, I
OP.
mean, maybe not stateside or like North America, but in the UK they were huge.
Yeah, and so like I remember seeing a little bit of Thunderbirds growing up, and I was kind of like, well, they
I
move
knew
kind of
of it.
funny.
Yeah.
But I know that was the style. But I'm just saying, as a dumb kid, I was kind of like not really into it. But
Yeah.
I can. There were kid shows, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they got into like Captain Scarlet was kind of getting into like kind of teen,
teen show?
YA show, because they look more realistic. But the thing you really watch these shows for, especially Thunderbirds, were just the miniatures and the gadgets and just how everything worked. It was just so cool to watch. They would make a big deal of like, Thunderbird 2 and like it kind of coming out of the pool and all these sort of things. And just the mechanics of watching these gigantic miniatures like work was just so fucking cool.
Kind of similar to what we were talking about with Wallace and Gromit. Like, hey, like they built all this stuff and it's interesting to see.
And it was like a lot of the same kind of, Wallace and Gromit, like just the mechanics of the things and like the kind of fun things they do within, getting ready in the morning, sliding down the slide. It was all about that kind of stuff. So like every time, the ships launched, you would see like the full kind of like launch sequence. Like that was, one of the more memorable parts of the show. And like, and it was just so cool. These things were gigantic when you see the behind the scenes and they would blow up like miniature trucks and all this sort of stuff.
Hopefully there's like a Jerry Anderson show, like museum somewhere that you can see
sure
these
Probably in the UK, but there is a documentary that came out. I haven't seen it. I forget what it's called. It might be like
I saw that.
Super Marination.
I think it's on like, it might even be on Tubi or something like that.
I think it just came out or something like that.
I'm more of a fan of Super Adventure Team, the 1998 parody show done by Dana Gould.
What?
You guys remember that?
No, was it a puppet show?
It was a puppet show exactly in the same style. It lasted only 6 episodes. I think it may have been a MTV show. Yeah.
So that's like an early Team America, basically.
Yeah,
Yes,
I was going to
exactly
say,
that.
like, it leads right into Team
The
America.
puppets are hideous looking. Just like, whoa.
Showing
One of
us
them
the
looks a
picture.
lot like Conan O'Brien for some reason.
Oh, okay.
The one in the lower left looks like Bob Odenkirk.
No, it looks
Yeah.
like Elton John.
Yeah, Elton John.
That's funny.
I'm sure it's filled with gay jokes.
What year was that? Early 90s?
1998.
Oh, 98. Dana
Yeah.
Gould, eh?
Oh, these look terrible.
He does good work sometimes. But yeah, so Team America was, what year was that? Like 20.
It was the same year as Thunderbirds, the live action movie.
Right.
2004.
2004.
Yep, it
That's
was.
insane.
We had Thunderbird fever in 2004.
So I was at that time huge South Park fan, although I missed it in theaters. So I watched
Team America?
it. Yeah,
Oh, I saw Team America in
I think
theaters.
I think I actually became a big South Park fan, like a big one, like probably after that. But anyway,
And you're even still the biggest fan.
No,
right?
I stopped watching. I dropped off. I dropped off a long time ago. But
let's see what they're angry about these days. Oh no, trans athletes in sports.
The last thing I saw was they were doing a thing about Ozempic, and I'm just like,
topical.
They are
and
very
funny.
rich. They work very little on that show. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so Team America,
all the power to them.
I know it was like horror. It was absolute
was a
hell for them to
nightmare.
make. I just watched a
they hated
video
it.
on it coincidentally.
Yeah.
Like Matt Stone was like, it ruined every major relationship in my life at the time.
Really?
Because it was just a constant like life suck all day, every day.
Before that movie came out, they had so many projects they had announced as feature films. There was like a high school comedy.
Oh,
There was a
God.
kaiju film they were going to make. And I think that Team America World Police was such a miserable experience. They just went, no more movies. We're just
Yeah.
not doing this
That's
anymore.
funny. I remember reading that article before it came out. I don't know if it was like Rolling Stone or Variety, and it was just like the ongoing nightmare of the movie. And then I think it was Matt or Trey was just like, if somebody would just come up to me and say, I will finish directing this movie for you, I would give them $1 million.
Yeah.
Which you watch it
didn't
and you're
think it
like,
through.
why is it that hard? Like they did this on a TV budget.
Yeah.
The
apparently it
issue
was-
is they didn't think it through. They were just like, oh yeah, I can just make something about puppets. They didn't realize
How
how much
slow-
goes
How
into
hard
it.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
How
and
difficult it was.
they on their show they're able to rewrite stuff on the fly.
Yeah.
So they actually were doing that. And so like Trey learned how to control the puppet mousing so he could rewrite the jokes. That being said, I think the movie is fine.
It's
There
great.
are actually a lot of really cute Thunderbird-esque jokes. They have fun with the fact that they are miniatures or bigatures or
Oh wait,
whatever
Team
you
America
call it.
World Police?
Yeah.
You know,
That's the movie we watch and we're going to talk about today, right? Team America World Police?
No, that's a good movie.
I wish. Yeah, but even though they hate it and, they were like, it ruined us and we'll never do it again, I do feel like there's a lot of fun artistry in Team America.
Oh,
and
yeah, for sure.
It's actually, and it's still funny.
It's like a lost art. You'll probably never see that again. Like,
it's
ever.
referencing something that's so old.
I know, yeah.
What do you think that Trey Parker does with his days? Because they do, how many episodes of South Park?
I think
God.
they only do 10 now, and it's
and
once a
they
year.
do them mostly like one. So they probably work
do one
for
a week,
2 months a year.
Yeah, 2 or 3, I think.
What does he do for the rest of the? I know he opened that big restaurant. Did you hear about that?
What?
Casa Bonita? Yeah.
No.
I mean, there was a whole South Park
it's a big-
episode.
and they were
about
like,
Casa
we
Bonita.
spent $75 million to get it back up to code, and it's like, guys, you're both worth like $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an
You're
existing
good.
restaurant that they saved.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
That has like it has like diving boards. It's like a diving show. That's what it was famous
There's a
for.
really, really funny South Park episode about it.
Oh my God.
An old one.
I got to look this
An old
up.
one,
But
yeah.
whatever, when you have that much money, it's just like you got to find something
play
to
video games, I guess.
You got to have something productive to do during the day.
I
You
will
just get
say
bored.
I haven't seen Book of Mormon yet, and I'll probably
Oh, I
love
love Book
it
of Mormon.
because
Yeah.
I love I love the songs that they write that were in the show and in
Have
Team
you never
America.
listened to the music? It's really good. You don't really need to see the show.
I don't. I know you're a big fan of listening to Broadway soundtracks, but I kind of feel like I need to see it. Anyway,
It came to Toronto. I saw it in Toronto when it came.
I know it wasn't that long ago either, but it'll be back. It'll be back. It's always back. Anyway, Thunderbirds 2004.
Well, Jerry Anderson died in 2012.
Oh, okay.
Lived a very long time.
He was probably pretty old, yeah.
Well, Justin, to get back to Thunderbirds Are Go, that's the later, I forget when that was. That was like 2012.
It's a new series.
2008?
New-ish
maybe?
series.
Newish, yeah. So I think Weta. So Peter Jackson was a huge fan of Thunderbirds and Jerry Anderson, and then he, I think, wanted to do either a movie or a TV show. And I think you can probably find it on YouTube, but if you look at Peter Jackson Thunderbirds demo, he did this fake little thing where he's like, it's like a pitch to producers, like Hollywood producers, and he's like, I want to redo this Thunderbirds, but using the latest technology. So instead of marionettes, it's remote controlled, little automatons or whatever.
Okay.
And he had a kind of 12-inch caricature. He said character that he said Weta built, and it was this remote controlled thing, and it could walk around. It was just one of the Thunderbirds characters, and then it was doing backflips and all this sort of stuff. And he was there working the remote.
Fun.
Of course, it was all CG. It was all a big joke. It was a trick.
He pulled the wool over their eyes.
Yeah, so I think that was his pitch. And eventually what they did, they made a show where all the characters were CG, but Weta created all the environments
Okay.
via miniatures. So the whole Tracy compound on the island, that was all miniatures. I think the ships might have been CG and miniatures. But yeah, they would put like CG characters within the kind of...
Sorry, I'm just looking at clips from the show right now. It's got real Coco Chameleon vibe to it, to the characters and the way they move.
What is that?
Coco Melon?
Coco Melon, sorry.
Coco
I always say Coco
How
Chameleon.
do I know this more than you?
You know what Coco Melon is, Colin?
No.
All I know is that it's some baby show.
It's literally crack for children. It's a show.
I swear to God, we've had this conversation before.
I'm sure we have.
Like recently, because
yes, it came up on a recent episode.
somebody said Coco Chameleon, and then
They're probably me.
somebody said,
No,
"Oh,
it's
you mean
Coco
like George
Melon.
or Boy George?" Karma Chameleon.
No. But Coco Melon is like a kid show. It's CGI, and it's designed like they test it on kids. That kids will never look away from the show.
Oh, that's horrifying.
So like everything is moving, and people say it's actually been resulting in like kids with like really screwing up their attention.
Oh God.
Because like nothing will give them the hit that Coco Melon does.
You better not let your son watch it. Wait,
No,
have
absolutely
you already
not.
done it?
No,
It's too late.
Yeah.
He's too young for that, I'm sure.
No, yeah, he'll be watching.
Oh, yeah,
I
I'm
don't
just
know,
watching,
Thunderbirds Go.
Godzilla.
I'm just watching a clip here.
Yeah.
Oh, now Colin's watching it.
Oh,
No, you'll
yeah.
get hooked.
Yeah, that doesn't look very
I've never
good.
seen it because I mean even when I have babysitting my nieces, they're too old for that.
Okay, the ships are not miniatures.
Oh, I thought you were
These are
talking about
CG.
Coco Melon.
No.
Thunderbirds Go. Yeah, like them saying like the backgrounds are live action. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I guess if you tell me that and I squint.
I think you know what I think it might have
Like I'm looking at some shots and it's clearly live action.
Okay, I think it's only the Tracy Island that might be miniature because I saw the behind the scenes of that for sure.
Yes, I'm seeing that's live action.
Okay.
That's a real like, hey, this looks cool, eh? Oh yeah, I like this. Well, no, you don't get any more of that.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
it's like we built that one set.
I could see because it's very, very elaborate.
They're
Like,
gonna go back to that every episode probably.
Yeah,
'cause
exactly.
It's the base.
That's their
And then
base.
anytime they have to go anywhere else,
It's CG.
Yeah.
It's just like a one-off. That makes more sense.
The
Okay.
CGI is real like Action Man vibe.
Yeah.
This TV show that I watched as a kid.
Did you ever
in
watch that
2000.
like Starship Troopers animated show? And then
Oh yeah,
was it-
Roughnecks.
Yeah, there was 90s
Yeah.
or
Say what?
early
Definitely.
2000s.
I think it wasn't like a bunch of TV movies that they split up. It was like Roughnecks to Starship Trooper Chronicles.
I think it was like a TV series, and then they may have
Made it into movies.
Yeah, it may have got canceled, and then they made like little like movies after the fact. I love how we're not talking about Thunderbirds.
We're like 20 minutes in. We have not mentioned the movie. Okay.
Guys, I want to say this to people who are clicking on it, really excited. That like, oh man, they're going to talk about this movie that I saw when I was a kid.
That I loved.
None of us were at the right age to see this movie.
No.
Oh, I never even
That
heard of
me-
it.
Colin was too old.
Yeah.
And so were me and April. That we were maybe 5-7 years removed from this.
Oh yeah. Well,
And
it was-
it started me thinking of like what movies were good when you were a kid, because I think the early 2000 kids they had such garbage.
Yeah.
They had like The Grinch, Thunderbirds.
well, I know that like the first Harry Potter came out like around
Yes,
then.
they had the Harry Potter.
But I
That's, you know.
wasn't really little. I mean, I was in grade 8 when I think the first Harry Potter came out. So
Yeah.
if you kind of think of it in that context, and this movie kind of feels like Harry Potter a little bit.
No.
There's like a school for
This movie
people.
is spy kid exploitation.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
100%.
is.
That's what April brought that up when we were watching it.
We recently had Charlie's Angels exploitation. This is Spy Kids exploitation.
Spy Kids
We
Yeah.
looked it up.
Yeah.
All 3 Spy Kids movies had already come out by the time this hit theaters. So
Well, that's why I was so baffled, like when I saw the trailer for this, because I had heard it had, been coming out for years and years, and it was like, I wonder how this is going to translate to live action. And I had no idea it was just going to be this kids movie. It's
well,
like,
the issue is it's a movie for no one, but they're like,
Yeah.
oh, the kids who love Spy Kids will love this.
Exactly.
And the parents will be like, hey, I like Thunderbirds, but there's no
Oh, it has
puppets.
none of the
It
stuff that I liked about the show.
has nothing
Yeah.
from the show, and the kids don't know what Thunderbirds is. So
Yeah.
it's like basically a lame, I guess it's supposed to get them interested in this new thing. It feels like they were like, well, what IP do we own or can buy, I guess.
Or it had just been in like, I don't know, development hell for like 20 years.
It kind of
probably.
reminds me of like that Lost in Space movie that came out.
I was
around
Yeah.
this.
thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's like-
1998.
It's like so old, like the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Like, and you're trying to like make it cool again. It's just lame.
It kind of does similar things where it kind of focuses on the kids and not like the main characters.
Were there kids on the TV show?
On Thunderbirds?
Yeah. Probably not, right?
Well, all the Tracy kids, like Bill Paxton's sons,
Yeah.
technically children. Well,
But
not
this
really.
new like gang of 3 kids, I'm guessing, was not in the original.
They were in the original, but you didn't. I guess you didn't realize how young they were because
Yeah,
every
'cause they're
they-
puppets.
Because they all had like old man faces.
yeah, they just all look like wrinkly old things, right? Because they're carved out of like wood or whatever the hell they're carved out of.
That probably would.
Yeah, soapstone or whatever.
It'd be too heavy. The heads would be falling over.
Yeah, so it was it's like let's take all the heroes. It's like making a Star Wars adaptation, and like sidelining like Han Solo and everybody, and then just having like a bunch of kids like rescue them. And it's just like, ugh.
Speaking of Han Solo, I know no one listening to this has a podcast, but look at this photo from that show. I talked about X Bomber. It's just Star Wars, but they're Thunderbirds characters. It looks amazing.
I'll post it. Oh,
There's
that's
even
so
like
cute.
a buff Wookiee in the background.
I need to find this show.
Yeah,
I love the
X-Bomber.
redhead.
X-Bomb. That's the Japanese one. Oh, that's pretty
X
cool.
Bomber. It was
X-Bomber.
released in the States as Starfleet. I wonder why they put Star in front of it.
Starfleet, eh? You mean
Interesting.
like from Star Trek?
Well, that
we
guy's
haven't even
costume looks
talked
just
about
like Luke
how
Skywalker.
Jonathan Frakes directed this movie.
Yeah, Jonathan Frakes.
Two
a guy
takes
who can
Frakes.
Get the job done.
Exactly.
Is that what his name is?
Yeah, they call him Two Takes
Two takes
Frakes.
Frakes.
Yeah,
I said
He's
he's like a step up from Clint Eastwood, who does one take. He'll do,
which I just learned.
and then
Has Jonathan Frakes directed one good feature film?
I mean, First Contact's pretty good.
arguably First Contact.
I like First Contact.
It's probably like the one that people hold up as like the best of the
First
TNG.
Contact is hands down the best
Yeah.
TNG movie.
Okay,
Whether-
okay, yeah,
whether
yeah.
it's a good movie.
What are the competitions? First Contact, Generations,
Oh, it sucked.
Did he?
Nemesis,
He only
Sucked.
did. He only
Insurrection.
did. They're all
Sucked.
honestly. They're
They're all
all bad
terrible.
except for First Contact, in my opinion.
Wait, did he direct? Oh no, David Carson directed Generation. Who's David Carson?
Yeah, I think that's the only one he directed. First Contact.
think
But,
First
I mean, what
Contact.
other movies has he done?
No. He
Clock
directed
Stoppers?
Insurrection. Jonathan Frakes did as well.
Yeah.
Really. And also lots of episodes of the TV show,
Yeah.
new and old.
Oh yeah. People said that he's one of the better TV show directors. Like they really liked working with him.
Yeah, he seems really nice.
Exactly. So, like, I think that they were like, well, I want this sci-fi movie. We hear you get things done and you're efficient.
He's like, you got clock stoppers off the ground. You can.
Yeah, he's someone you bring in. You know, it's no vision, but he will get the job done. It's like no more than
well,
two
he has
takes.
a vision. He has a vision of 2004. Get me more white-haired, dyed kids.
Man, you have never seen more frosted tips in a movie than you
Spiky
have.
dudes.
But
Thunderbirds opens with like such bad CG attempted throwback graphics.
oh, come on! I thought it was kind
It's
of
an
fun.
animated opening,
it's
which
like-
is odd for 2004.
Yeah, you see it more now, but I don't know.
also
I didn't mind it.
remember the Avengers movie.
Oh boy, do I!
It was like that with Ray Fiennes.
yeah,
Ray
Oh.
Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes.
Conclave's
pre-
Ray Fiennes.
Previous episode, you guys.
So I thought about that of like, have we done the Avengers? And I was like,
Yes, we
I don't
have.
remember anything about it.
We did
I
it.
was looking at an episode of Flophouse and I was like, oh, I should check this out. This sounds like fun. And I'm like, wait a minute.
No,
I think we watched it together. That was back when
Yeah.
we were doing that,
Yeah.
and we did that and Zardoz, I think, in the same episode.
I don't remember
because
anything
Zardoz
about.
is
Poor
good.
Sean
Yeah,
Connery
Zardoz is
had
good.
just passed away.
I don't remember anything about the movie, the Avengers,
All I
or the
remember,
episode.
all I remember about the Avengers movie is that there are a bunch of people in bear suits. That's all I remember. Like colorful bear, like having a meeting.
It's part of that.
Whoa.
Oh god.
I'm looking at Brady Corbet. Corbet?
We're never gonna
Corbett.
we'll
Brady
know-
Corbet.
He
We'll
looks
know his name
so
soon.
much like Bobcat Goldthwait now. It's really funny.
Well,
Like-
what's funny is like his picture on IMDb is so outdated. He doesn't look anything like that now.
Holy
he should
shit,
really-
he does.
Oh yeah, that picture does.
You
I
know,
think,
he
with the hat
he
there,
looks
yeah.
like Bobcat Goldthwait mixed with Michael Chitlis from the Commish, or was it the Commish? Or wait, the
You mean
badge.
Fantastic Four.
The badge. Who was the Commish?
Oh, you mean the Shield?
The Shield.
Oh, it was like the
badge.
bootleg version of the Shield, the badge.
I I think he
We got the
was.
shield at home.
Colin, I think he was the commish.
Was he really?
I think
He was.
also-
Michael Chiklis?
also
Yeah, he
the-
was the
was
commish.
also the commish.
Wait, what's a knish? Is that like a little kind of?
Sorry. For some reason, all I could think of was Puchinsky when you were talking about that. And I was like,
A knish,
yeah.
I think, is like a pastry with,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's either sweet or savory insides. I think it's a Jewish
Could
delicacy.
we get away with doing just an episode of the show on Puchinsky?
Oh yeah,
TV pilot?
Wait, is the pilot out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
only
mean,
21
I don't
minutes
know.
long.
was that like
Justin.
Abe Vigoda or
I
something?
can't believe I'm a dog.
You could-
no.
you could pick
It wasn't
it.
It was better. It was Peter Boyle played Puchinsky.
I mean,
the cop that was turned into a dog.
maybe it could be a Patreon
If it
episode.
wasn't like it was a horrific puppet.
Yeah, it looks so horrifying. Too much motion.
Wait, maybe they had Jerry Anderson come in like.
All right, yeah. So this movie starts. I wrote in my notes. Starts with we're in 2004. The camera's swooping in.
Oh yeah.
Start from a high angle. Go into, we're doing camera moves, ladies
I
and
will
gentlemen.
say-
You should
Yeah.
watch the
Yeah,
trailer.
the trailer is nothing but speed ramps.
The trailer is the most 2000 thing you've ever seen. There are so many speed ramps.
But, like,
Wait, what is the like ultimate 2000 song? Probably like,
All
hey
Star.
now, you're an
I was
all-star.
literally just
Yeah.
gonna say All Star. Somebody. Yes, exactly. That's,
Wait, I wanted to know, when did Semi Charm Life? 1997.
that's a little earlier, yeah. But like I will say, like I talked about this when we did DOA. Like this is a little nostalgic for me, just in the look. It's that Maxim look, only the kid version.
Yeah.
Super
Maxim kids.
super bright colors. You know,
Hey, this is what-
shiny skin.
This is what Wicked should have
where
looked
does
like.
this land on
Yeah.
the April color correction scale?
It's in the music video category.
Yeah. it's-
Everyone looks so orange in this movie.
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
And if they don't look orange, they look shiny. Yeah, like everyone
Yeah.
kind of has a sheen on
Like a
them.
puppet.
Yeah.
It's like a Michael Bay.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, we got to get into the movie. So, Brady Corbet is sitting in class.
Corbett.
He looks way too old to be with these children.
Yeah, I don't know what this school was. It's like
I mean, it's a school that hey, let's go watch the news of the Thunderbirds saving some people from an oil rig.
Yeah.
the entire the entire school will watch a video.
it like shuts down. It's like it's like when the space shuttle exploded or something. It's
I mean,
just like,
I don't really approve
Sorry.
of the fact that the Thunderbirds exist in this world, because it's like this dynasty family who is like the
Yeah.
world's protectors, but they're not
International rescue.
They're not regulated.
they're not protect. Was
April
they're
April
rescue.
is
They're,
pro civil superhero protection. Act.
they are anonymous rescue team. I don't think in the show anybody knew who
Would
they
it
were.
be better if they worked for the U.S. government, April, under Donald Trump?
Well, I think the idea is they protect the whole world, right?
Well, they're like a rescue organization.
Yeah, they're
so
kind of
they,
like the Fantastic Four.
yeah, they don't use
Yeah.
like weapons or anything
They
like
go
that.
to England, so but
Yeah.
although that's because
They
the
save
bad guys
people.
are trying to frame them.
Yeah, well, it's like and they had like the team is actually called International Rescue.
Right.
They just call themselves the Thunderbirds because each of their ships is called Thunderbird 1, Thunderbird 2.
Okay, so in the show, did they use Thunderbird as a verb like they do in this? Where they're like, it's not Thunderbirding.
Let's Thunderbird.
I just think it's funny
I think
how
Brady Corbet says that at one point, doesn't he?
He does.
I got a
I think he said
Thunderbird that
multiple
wall
times.
or
each
something.
of the ships just have giant numbers on them.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this so they could sell toys? Like,
No, that's how it was in the show.
But was the show
Well, 'cause they wanted
maybe
to sell
also
toys.
to sell
Oh, I'm
toys?
sure.
I got the
Absolutely.
number 2. You have the number 3. It's,
Number 2 is the best. That's the big green one.
Wow, I can't believe
Oh,
you
it
remember
is?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the big like heavy.
Did you ever have any of the toys, Colin?
No, because I didn't really know about the show until I was way too old. I was in like
Oh, so
actually
even you
I was in
kinda-
animation college, so I probably should have had some toys.
I mean, we all come to things at different points in our lives. There's
Yeah.
no shame in it.
Yeah, now we're all coming to Thunderbirds 2004.
Oh, boy.
A movie that I'm sure most of our audience has never even heard of.
Well, unless you're that specific age, because if you
I
look at
guess.
Letterboxd, there's a lot of like, this hit me in the nostalgic field.
Okay. So some people grew up with
It's
this.
just so weird though. It's like they do so many things that are exactly like the show, like the island, the ships.
But bad.
Yeah, but it sucks.
But
Yeah.
it's like, the ships look exactly like they do in the show. And it's like the island does. They have all, they do so many things right, and they have the same theme song even. But then it's sort of really not like the show at all. It's like,
and they were like, can we get like the most wooden person in the world, kind of puppet-like, if you will, to play, what is her name? Lady
Penelope.
Lady Penelope. Sophia Myles, who I'm unfamiliar with. She's in From Hell, an
She's
underworld
a
movie.
big British actress.
She's been in
I
stuff.
thought she was fine.
She was kind of fun in this.
She's so bored.
I
She's
liked
like,
her
chauffeur,
her sidekick was more
Parker.
fun.
Now, if you look at Parker in this movie, it is uncanny how much he looks like the puppet. Like,
they cast somebody who just happened to look like the puppet.
yeah, all they've done is like kind of tweak his eyebrows a bit. But if you look at the puppet and look at the actor, like just behind the scene, not even behind the scenes, just like on the red carpet.
I'll put up a side by side.
Yeah,
right now.
it looks exactly like him. It's like, oh my god.
So it's interesting that they did go to such lengths for it to reflect the show.
Yeah. In certain
In consequence,
Yeah.
also making you go, why am I watching the show where it's like the puppets? So it's more fun.
Yeah, it's so weird. And it's like, you kind of sideline most of the family, and then it just becomes this kid adventure with like these three shit-ass kids.
Vanessa Hudgens.
Brady Corbet in this fucking sucks. He's just like just an annoying
He's
little
just
brat.
kind of your like annoying little everyman.
And he's way too old for this role.
Yeah,
too,
I think so.
agree.
to be hanging out
Well,
with like kids that are like half.
I don't know how old he's supposed to be because they're all like calling him a kid, but he doesn't look
Yeah.
that much younger than like the youngest like member of the Thunderbirds team.
The whole family is just so forgettable, kind of like what it was in the show. Like,
There's a funny shot where it just cuts to them and they're all just awkwardly standing in a row wearing bathing suits.
yeah, they just.
That's at the end of the movie.
I was like, David Dakota came in for like a day to shoot some stuff.
And you know what? I love Bill Paxton. He rules.
He's good. He's so weird.
What a weird choice.
Yeah.
For like the
Yeah.
He's just kind of playing himself.
kind of.
He's a little too old, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like he's like, I remarried young.
Yeah.
He's flirting with Lady Penelope, who it looks like his daughter.
He looks so old in this movie. He's so old and wrinkled. Yeah, I could see him like in his younger days playing one of the spunky like sons.
Sure.
Yes.
Like, hey, Dad, we gotta go rescue whatever. Blah blah blah.
I will say, like when they're in the house, very Speed Racer vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up on
and
that.
Anthony Edwards is in this, playing like the
Oh
nerdy
my
stuttering character
God.
from the TV show. And all I gotta say is Anthony Edwards must wake up every morning, look at himself in the mirror, and go like, "I was the star of ER, and now I'm the fifth banana in Thunderbird."
Okay, so
He's kind of, it's like kind of an embarrassing role.
it's
for
like he's
him.
got 5 lines, or if that, in this whole movie.
But he has a stutter.
He stutters, but the thing, okay, so I was reading about his character, Brains. He's like the kind of, I don't know, Q of the operation or something. But they had him stutter in the first few seasons of Thunderbirds, and then they eventually stopped because it would take so long for him. It was like a fast-paced show, and it would take so long for him to get dialogue out that they were just like, they just ended up cutting his character for most of the show. And then I think by season 2 or 3, he didn't have a stutter anymore. So I'm glad they brought that back for the movie. Because I don't think he finishes one line of dialogue.
Well,
The fans would lose their mind if he wasn't.
he does
stuttering.
like the Doc from Snow White thing where he's trying to say one thing and he just can't get it out, so then he just switches it to a synonym.
Sure.
But it's like, then also his son also has a stutter, which like, I don't think that's how it works, you guys, but whatever. Whatever.
It's not genetic.
his son
I don't
looks
think so.
like...
I hate his son.
His son
He's
looks
so
like
annoying.
he looks like Kieran Culkin from Home Alone, like the younger Culkin who pisses the bed all the time.
Yeah, but also like he has some really weird name.
I forget
like
his name.
Lamo or something.
It's like,
Lame.
it's like Parton or
tried to tell
Partle or
us.
something.
It's something weird.
It's very strange.
Somebody look it up. But
Vanessa Hudgens is in this.
and she barely even has a line from what it feels like. Like
She's not really a character.
That's because she's the staff and she's not allowed to speak.
Yeah, this is so weird.
yeah,
so
she's like related to the help, I guess.
yeah, it's like they own this island. It's called Tracy Island.
How do they own an island?
It's like
I
a-
ask you.
it's
They're
like a bil-
rich.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're billionaires.
Yeah, they just have like the locals like as their slaves, like working, cleaning their house
They're
and
part
stuff.
of the family.
Oh,
Colin.
sure, whatever. So they say. That's what they all say. Until you get your like shitty.
There is one guy in this movie that looks so much like Connor Sweeney. that it's
Oh,
kind of
is it one of the
distracting.
brothers?
No, it's the guy that's on the spaceship. He has like the white hair.
Yeah, that's one of the brothers. That's the Tracy
Yeah.
brothers.
Oh, he one of the brothers.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know. They don't matter. They disappear for like
I mean, I didn't
They
pick
all
up on
look the
that,
same,
but yes.
and they all sound like they're dubbed. Like
They all have like no lines. Like the whole family, other than Bill Paxton, is boring as hell.
yeah, and even Bill Paxton, I will say, is
okay.
very, very flat.
So I don't know if we're gonna have time to go through the entire plot.
Hey,
but
Jonathan,
one
I know
person
James Cameron, man.
we haven't mentioned is Sir.
Oh my
Ben
gosh,
Kingsley.
Sir Ben
I mean,
Kingsley.
every time he's on screen, I'm like, yeah, more Ben Kingsley.
It's electrifying.
Who, at first, I'm like, is he a lizard man of some kind?
Because his eyes.
Yes, he is, and also Vanessa Hudgens is related to him, and therefore is also a lizard person.
No, they have the.
Oh, does she have powers too? Boy, I
Did you miss that?
Really?
She uses them twice.
She saves the day at the end of the movie, Justin. So he has the ability to. First of all, his name is the Hood, who was a character, I think, in the TV show or one of the TV movies or something like that. If you look up the character, if you just Google him, he looks like his puppet looks like Yul Brynner from The King and I.
He's got a very ornate outfit.
Yes, like the same.
Man, Ben Kingsley is like, yes. What
What ethnicity am I
country do you want me to
playing
come from? Yes, no problem.
This is like a precursor to the
he
Mandarin.
comes in his own kimono.
Yeah. I will say he's kind of having fun.
He's fine, and the credit I will give to this movie is it isn't like as obnoxious as like early 2000s kids movie as I thought it would be.
It's also like not like mind-numbingly boring, but it did feel kind of bland.
Yeah.
You know? I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so bored, but also like I wasn't super like impressed with anything. It felt kind of like, you know,
It's
by
like,
the
yeah,
books.
the villains that chase him get gacked.
Yeah.
like that sort of thing.
There's like cartoon sound effects. Whoop! When they're like doing fight scenes.
But only in certain places, though. It's very weird.
That was weird.
Isn't it weird that their base has all their faces on everything? Like,
Yeah.
Like Bill Paxton was like, I want my face on the door and that wall.
Hey, he's a billionaire.
They're really vain, this family.
yeah.
I mean, like in the whole, so just the whole Brady Corbet story about like, I want my dad and my family to take me seriously,
Yeah.
and they're just treating me like a kid. And then he proves himself. It's just so by the numbers.
It is. But what I will say, I was kind of impressed with the effects. All the especially the ship stuff. And
I totally agree.
looked way too good to be in a movie of this caliber. I don't know if that's...
Wait, didn't we look how much it cost and it was like a ridiculous amount of money?
Oh, I'm sure it's expensive. It didn't look cheap.
$57 million.
That's a lot.
And they made
Yeah,
the
that's a lot.
Brutalist for less than 10
Yeah,
million.
that's a lot. Yeah, do you think Brady Corbet was like, you know,
They
watching Frakes blow
Like,
cash?
This is what I don't do.
They made the Brutalist 20 years later for less.
Where do you think 57 million? Where do you think the money went?
Bill Paxton, I'm
like-
sure, got a lot.
I would say the effects for sure.
Anthony Edwards is demanding like
It is like not almost every shot, but most shots have effects in them. There's a lot.
but like
Yeah.
but it's kind of like Spy Kids-esque, and like those Spy Kid films were very cheap.
Yeah, but they
were
looked like
famously
shit.
cheap.
Yeah,
they
there are
did.
definitely a lot of shots, VFX shots in this that also look bad. The green screen stuff too.
Some of that, yeah,
but
definitely.
you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. But the when they're like flying on the hover bike thing, oh boy. But
It's hard to make that stuff
I
look
was
good.
That's
looking,
real like James Bond surfing the waves.
Oh, yeah.
kind of
I
thing.
was
time.
looking at a lot of these ships flying through the air, and I'm like, this actually looks good.
Yeah, they did
for
a really good
this
job.
Year.
But
Like,
it kind of looked like almost like an homage to the like models and stuff. It was kind of weird. They looked very big, but they looked like the models as well.
Yeah, what's frustrating about that is like you guys could have just shot models.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Nah,
could've
2004, baby.
made it
This
work.
was CGI all the way to the moon.
And they never it never changed since then.
Yeah. Do you think? Yeah, Brady Corbet was just like, when I make a movie, I'm gonna do one take.
I won't.
2 takes
I
is
won't
so
use
wasteful.
AI on it. Oh no!
I didn't even hear about that. I gotta say that building looked pretty good. And anyway,
I'm sure because it was
April coming out.
Oh, no.
Pro AI.
pro AI. This podcast was pro AI. Yeah, you know why it looked good? Because it was trained using all the good
I
good
used
designs.
AI to edit this podcast.
Oh no!
Just kidding. Then I'd be putting
One of us is not real. Can you guess?
I'd be putting myself out of the job, not the podcast job, the editing job.
I can make myself sound like anybody. Hey, I'm Bill Paxton, man.
Okay, well, I mentioned I thought that Ben.
I kept trying to think of a voice I could do. I'm like, Cartman? I don't have a Cartman. Cheesy Poop. That's Cartman.
Justin,
anytime you try to do Bill Paxton.
You don't have any voices.
Yeah.
I don't have any
You
voice.
try to do Bill Paxton, and then you just imagine him. I feel like he starts every sentence with "Hey, hey, man, hey, what's up?
Say,
Hey, Jim,
it's already here. That's his line from Twisters.
Oh, yeah.
Twister.
Oh yeah, his iconic line from Twister.
Hey, it's already
here.
Hey,
It's
welcome to the
already
Suck
here.
Zone.
That's the line from the trailer. I think.
I mean, his line is, "It's game over, man. It's game over."
We got a Twister. Hey, hey, Twister, I know James Cameron.
But yeah. So, do they ever explain the whole like Snake Eyes like telekinesis thing?
I don't know.
He just has this power, and
Yeah.
it turns out he is the uncle of Vanessa Hudgens.
I'm sorry.
Vanessa Hutchins.
So when we say he, we're
Hutchins.
talking about Sir Ben Kingsley.
Sir Ben Kingsley, yes.
Who is not phoning it in, and he's menacing.
He knows what kind of movies in.
He does a few funny things, but he has the ability to his eyes turn to snake eyes, and he has
He has
telekinetic
telekinetic power.
ability.
Yeah, kind of ill-defined. Like he can make people do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
can
but
throw
it's
people
more
across
just like
the
he can
room.
control people's bodies and make them
And
like
minds.
not hit somebody.
So he can say the line, "It's like you're a puppet on my string."
Oh,
Did he say that?
He did say that.
Yeah, he
I
did
didn't
say that.
realize that was a
Oh.
reference. That was a reference, right?
We keep cutting back to like Bill Paxton seemingly dead, floating in
Yeah,
space.
there's a lot of that.
And
And they're all very sweaty.
also, they're
Yeah.
totally nonchalant about the fact that they're dying. They're like, "We've got 4 hours left," and the son, one of the probably the Connor Sweeney son, is like, "It's hopeless, Dad." And he goes, "It's not hopeless yet. We have people on the ground. We have 30 minutes left." And then it just
Man.
cuts to them all asleep, and then they can only save them if the person who is on the ship, all the asleep people who are asphyxiating, can say an access code. I'm like, why does it work this way? That's so stupid.
Terrible thinking.
Anyway, the kids eventually.
Wait a minute. He has so many kids. Do you think this is the same character from Big Love, the classic Bill Paxton show
Could
about
be.
being a Mormon?
I watched the first season of that show.
Hey, man, I got 12 wives.
You know what, guys? R.I.P. Bill Paxton.
Yeah, I
he
know.
went way too
He
soon.
didn't die recently.
I mean,
Yeah, but I'm not over it.
it was a long time ago.
okay.
Yeah, he
It
was.
wasn't that long ago. It was like
Was it?
it was like 3 years ago.
Oh,
2017.
All right.
It was,
it was longer than
ago.
that.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
years.
time has really flown. Jesus God. Yeah, Bill Paxton, great. So anyway,
It's flown in the air like the ships in Thunderbird.
I'm just angry
2004.
about it because he didn't need to die. It was like a doctor's gross negligence.
We
Was it
sacrificed
negligence?
him.
It was malpractice.
Was it?
Oh,
I
was
believe
it?
so.
Oh yeah, it was during an
I
operation.
thought
It
it was-
was like a botched heart valve transplant or something.
really?
Yeah, which is
That's what happens when you ask James Cameron to do your operations. He says he can do it.
No. Hey, developed this robotic arm. I'm operating it from beneath the sea from my
the
lair.
same people who did the Ocean Gate people. That
Oh,
did his
no.
operation.
Yeah. It was a damaged aortic heart valve
Yeah.
that he had from rheumatic fever from when he was a kid, and he underwent open heart surgery to get it fixed, and then something went wrong.
I mean, it's obviously tragic when anybody dies, but sometimes it's just
61 years old.
You know, I mean, I'm still pissed off, about Philip Seymour Hoffman, but it's like that's different because he had an addiction. But it's just like, man, he had so much more left to give. That's all.
Yeah. What villain would Philip Seymour Hoffman have been playing in the Marvel
I'm
movies
also,
Oh, no.
I'm also not over Alan Rickman
Oh, you
dying.
know
and
that
I
would
realized that was before we even.
Oh,
met
you
Colin,
know he would
but
be in a
I-
Marvel movie too. They would
Alan-
all
Alan
be Marvel.
Philip
Rickman?
Seymour Hoffman?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, both of them.
And so Alan
And
Rickman.
Alan
Yeah,
Rickman.
yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, Harrison Ford is like the last frontier. It's like once you get that guy.
I have a feeling
all
that
the
this
other
movie is going to fucking tank.
Civil War
Captain
2 or whatever.
America.
Oh, you mean the film directed by let me check my notes, the director of the Cloverfield Paradox.
Oh, no!
P.U.
That who's directing that? Are you serious?
Uh-huh. Yeah, a man who's never made one good movie.
God, that movie sucked.
Well, as they said on The Boys, they're like, well, they had to reshot it 2 times, so it's got to be good.
Yeah. Let's just say he's the credited director on this.
Exactly. Like, who knows what happened behind the scenes, right?
Oh boy,
But yeah.
that looks so bad.
Anyway, Bill Paxton, I feel like he was only kind of in Thunderbirds for a paycheck. That's the impression that I get. Not to
Yeah.
say he's totally phoning it in, But
He's fine.
Yeah,
but
he's
it's just
fine.
he feels
He's fine.
miscast.
Yeah.
He doesn't usually play this type of character. I want some like.
I mean, Bill Paxton was saving it all up so he could direct his true passion project the next year. The greatest game ever played. The Shia LaBeouf golfing movie.
I had no idea he directed that, but I did like that horror movie he directed.
Oh, Frailty.
Frailty.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, Frailty is good until the ending where you're like, wait a minute, let me think about this for a second.
Oh, that's
Still
the
made for a pretty good movie.
ending
though,
was
I gotta
great.
say.
So God is real and he wanted that kid to suffer?
In these characters' heads, I guess. I mean, well, it's kind of like in Unbreakable, where he's like, oh, so really all these people he was killing, he had magical powers, and he could just see that they were actually evil. So, although I don't think Bruce Willis actually killed those people. Did he? I don't remember.
Oh, you got your Unbreakable fan.
I don't
Wait,
remember.
what? In which movie?
You know how in
I have no idea what you're
Unbreakable?
talking about.
Unbreakable.
He didn't
where-
kill anybody.
No. He just like apprehended people, I guess.
Yeah, he
stopped
just-
them from doing crimes.
Yeah, you just choke them out until they
Well,
passed out.
that's why that's a superhero movie, and Frailty is a horror movie.
Yeah, Frailty's great.
Yep, I would not disagree with you.
Yeah.
I call it a religious film, if you
Sure.
will. Frailty. But yeah, Bill Paxton. I wonder. It's weird he didn't direct more. He did that, and I think a pilot for a TV show in 2011.
Did he?
Yeah, something called Tattoo. No, just a short film he did.
Tattoo.
2011.
Was it a spin-off of Fantasy Island?
Yeah, that's right.
That came much later.
Co-starring James Hong and Powers Booth.
What?
Yeah. Oh, you know what Bill Paxton is great in? Edge of Tomorrow. That
Oh,
Tom
yeah.
Cruise movie. He's really good in
I
that
don't
movie.
even remember
He
him
was like
being
the drill
in that.
sergeant.
He plays the drill
I
sergeant.
don't remember that. I mean, I
He
did
has
only see it
he has
once.
the best joke in the whole movie when Tom Cruise gets run over by a car. And Bill Paxton's like, oh.
He's just remarking on how disgusting it is.
No, he just sees it
Oh.
because like he sees it happen and you get like his reaction.
I don't remember him
he's
being in the
funny.
movie. Ouch.
Yeah.
I'm
Whoa,
gonna have to
Bill
rewatch
Paxton was in that terrible looking Vince Vaughn wears a wig movie, Term Life.
What?
Directed by Peter Billingsley.
that. Whoa, Peter Billingsley.
Wait, you have not seen this Vince Vaughn wears a very funny wig movie?
No.
No.
Look at the still I just sent you.
It looks like Hugh Grant.
You know what? I think you've sent us this picture before.
Oh my god.
And it's the girl from
Hey, wait.
Haley Steinfeld.
you know, that Western.
Okay,
True Grit.
if you zoom out a bit, that looks like Hugh Grant.
It does look like Hugh Grant. You're right.
That is bizarre.
Vince Vaughn, I just have one question for you. What the hell were you thinking?
Oh my god. Oh, that looks terrible.
Wait, no one's gonna my Jay Leno impersonation? Yeah, it's me.
Did he say that?
He said that to Hugh Grant after Hugh Grant got caught with the prostitute.
Oh, okay.
And people say that's what saved Jay Leno and kind of like crushed David Letterman.
What,
Oh,
by
good.
like telling it like it is to Hugh Grant?
Yeah, it was like the big moment on TV of him being like, "What the hell? What the hell are you?" I can't do it. I can't do Jay Leno.
Did you see
Yeah,
that?
what
Like,
the hell were you thinking?
what happened to him recently?
Yeah, that he fell down some stairs.
Who, Jay Leno?
Well, first of all, he set himself on fire and like
What?
Yes.
burned his face, and then
Yes.
he like.
I heard.
I just found this picture of him online. He was wearing like an eye patch, and he had like.
Yeah, and people ask, "What happened?" He's like, "Oh, I fell down some
But
stairs."
it was hideous. It was like the whole half of his face was just black, like it was.
And
Just
people
bruised.
are like, "Oh, does he own gambling debts?" And they beat him up. Can you imagine being like a gangster beating up Jay Leno?
They'd probably enjoy doing it. I don't know.
It's
They were Letterman fans.
They hate Jay.
avoid his jaw,
They were
boys.
Letterman and or Conan fans.
Oh God, there's Siri.
Our Siri keeps responding to us in a British accent.
They're like, "Do you want to play? Do you want to watch Jay Leno?"
Just
No,
getting
no.
beaten by Conan.
Okay.
Oh, do you think Conan beat him up?
No, everyone had theories, right? And then it was like, he looks like.
That'd be so funny if Conan played like the long game and like caught Jay Leno down an alley. And,
Really
like,
long. He's
No, but
taller than him.
But
He
it was
could beat
like
him up.
it was like this.
He's more gangly though.
It was like a hill by like a Holiday Inn or something. That was a little.
Yeah, he just fell
So he,
down. I
but he
believe
fell
it.
down like 50 feet or something and like hit these rocks at the bottom.
Yeah. I hate to break it to you, but like Jay Leno's an old man, and older people tend to fall down.
Yeah, they tend to bruise.
Well,
and
you
stuff.
saw him semi-recently, Justin, so you can confirm he's a bit frail.
He was on fire. I mean, no, he was on fire.
Oh, okay.
like literally on
yeah.
fire, like he was
And
when he
that was-
set himself
that was-
on
that-
fire.
That was post his fire too.
oh, okay.
That we saw.
He's like,
wow,
oh my God,
okay.
I'm on fire again.
Did you guys notice the like one miniature in Thunderbirds when like a bridge gets destroyed?
No.
Yeah,
Trying
it's
to
like a
think,
miniature.
yeah.
I'm watching it right now. I'm flipping through, and it's like, oh, it reminds me of the TV show. I wish I was watching that.
I think I'm confusing it with the one miniature in Breakdown that I just watched the other day. So,
Oh, great movie.
yeah.
Wait, what miniature was that?
When there's a truck that falls over a bridge.
Oh, that was miniature.
But it's so quick. Like if you didn't know it was, you probably wouldn't notice it. Yeah.
That was well done.
Breakdown, great movie.
Yeah, it was great.
Anyway, does
Thunderbirds,
anything
not
else,
good movie.
Like, I'm sorry we're not giving this the full plot treatment, but
Yeah.
really, it's really not that interesting. I mean, I'm apologizing to our fans and also to you, Colin, because you picked this movie.
It doesn't matter.
Colin's got tears streaming down his
like,
face.
why
He's
don't
like, I wanted to get to the part where the bad guy gets chased by bees, or when they all get stuck in the freezer.
Oh God, yeah.
And yeah, the freezer. I mean,
The freezer,
it's
yeah.
kind of cool where she like hits an icicle and then it breaks the bindings.
We didn't even mention when she uses her psychic powers on the CGI scorpion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's some of that.
I mean,
There's
I
some-
gotta say, like a lot of the movie is just kind of like forgettable.
It's kind of forgettable, and it
Yeah.
feels very small. Like
It does, because they never even leave the
the
island
cast is very
until the end
small.
of the movie.
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, like this is it. Like,
there's kind of only 3 bad guys. It's like Ben Kingsley and 2 henchmen.
oh, we forgot to mention the sexy henchman who has ugly teeth.
Oh, the henchwoman who has these
Yes.
like really
Activating children everywhere with a big butt coming down the
Yeah.
staircase.
very
Like,
very strange.
I really thought she was gonna fall in love with Goose, but didn't happen.
Yeah, so did I. But yeah,
Or Goose would fall in love with her.
I thought she was like.
But she's ugly.
I thought she
so
was Lady
no.
Penelope, like undercover or something like that.
Oh. Nope.
No, that would have been
Whatever.
more interesting.
So yeah, who is this movie for? I don't know. Kids.
Children that like their parents are like, what do you want to see this weekend? I don't know.
Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds, I guess.
But like the whole reason it's called Thunderbirds and it is a Thunderbirds movie is so parents can say, "Oh, I used to watch this as a kid. You'll like this, right?"
Yeah, but not many parents in the
That makes no
in the
sense.
U.S. would have. They probably didn't even know the show had existed.
I don't know. Maybe I'll ask my parents if it was on TV when they were like kids.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, that were actually like growing up around the time it would have been on TV, but I don't know if it was on TV in Canada back then.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, because Thunderbirds, you know what? It probably played in syndication on like the Nickelodeon, like Nick at Night or something like that. That seems like a show
Yeah.
that people, and we didn't have that.
No.
So
I mean, did you guys have a favorite thing?
well, I said
yeah,
the
we gotta pick
VFX.
I said Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, he's good.
Ben Kingsley has a couple of funny reactions.
A couple of funny moments, yeah. Justin just like
I
thinking,
think
scraping the bottom of the barrel.
my favorite thing was boy.
This should be easy,
I mean,
man.
I'm flipping through the movie.
Did you
now,
watch
and
it
I'm like-
today?
You're scrubbing.
I did watch.
He's watching
it
it
today.
right
we watched
now.
it yesterday, and I feel like I can barely remember it.
I liked. I can't say when it ended. That's too cheap.
When it ended.
I like that it reminded me of 2004.
Okay.
Was that
It
a,
reminded me of Spy Kids 3D, and I was like, I saw that in movie theaters.
Did I tell you when I got made fun of by the usher for going to see Spy Kids 3D in the theater?
You did?
Is that
yeah.
the third
No.
Spy Kids?
Yeah, we went to
Yes.
see some other movie at Scotiabank, and then it was sold out, and we're like, oh Christ, like what else is playing? And then we're like, Spy Kids 3D, and I'd never seen a Spy Kids.
That's really funny because I'm sure you were an adult at the time.
Oh yeah, and then we bought tickets, and then the usher started making fun of us. He's like, "Oh my God, you guys know this is like a kids movie, right?"
It's called Spy
yeah.
Kids, obviously.
He's like,
My favorite thing of this movie is the story that Colin just said.
yeah, that was. I forgot that Robert Rodriguez did all 3 of those.
All 5?
All
I-
5?
Yeah, let's look how many Spy Kids films there are.
boy.
Because there was a reboot with Joel McHale.
what?
Well, it was Antonio Banderas was like the
Yes.
dad.
I feel like
right?
I've just been going
Yeah,
like,
so
what?
There's
This
Spy
entire
Kids
episode.
2011, All the Time in the World, and then there's Spy Kids Armageddon from 2023.
What are you talking about?
Who
man?
played the mom?
In the original Spy Kids, it
Yeah.
was Carla Gugino.
Yeah, okay,
wasn't
I
it?
was gonna say I thought it was her, but even though I've never seen one of these, the girl who was in Spy Kids, she was kind of like everywhere. Like I think maybe she was a Disney Channel kid or
Yeah.
something. I don't know what she
Oh.
was from, but she was in stuff.
She popped up recently in something I forget.
Yeah, I think so.
Jeez, I'm looking at like starring, and like the 2 kids are at the bottom of the list.
Oh God.
Yikes!
Wow, the star of Spy Kids now has 3 children. Alex Pena Vega.
That the little
Oh,
kid with the red
yeah.
hair. Or is that
Yeah.
the girl?
It's the girl.
That's the girl.
Okay.
No, the little kid with the red hair is jacking it in World's Greatest Dad, the Robin Williams
Oh,
film.
right. That's
What?
right. Yeah, that's right. You saw that, right, Colin?
No, I haven't.
Oh, World Greatest Dad's pretty good. Speaking of Bobcat Goldthwait, right?
Yeah, he directed that movie. Great movie. Love
It's
it.
a pretty good movie, yeah.
Well, yeah, what was she in? Lots of stuff. She was a Twister.
Really?
She played, I think, a young Helen Hunt in the opening.
Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
She was in Repo the Genetic Opera. She starred in that movie.
Oh.
I never saw that.
Oh, Sin City, A Dame to Kill For.
Yeah, she had one of the
You were
roles
just
in it.
talking about
Machete.
that.
Oh, A Dame to
Kills.
Kill For. That movie stinks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we were
terrible.
talking about
bad.
doing it for the pod.
Oh,
For the
so
pod.
boring.
Well, I'm not
I
gonna
have
pick it.
what? Here's what I will say instead. A movie that's even more boring. The Spirit.
Oh, that's on my
Colin
list.
was also talking about doing
That's on my list.
Okay,
that is
but- Yeah.
so unwatchable.
The Spirit, though, is like, man, talking about how we can't sum up Thunderbirds. The Spirit is like Samuel L. Jackson in front of a green screen monologuing for like 80 minutes.
Oh God,
Oh,
it's just
no.
like do whatever you want, Sam. Just riff.
Are you kidding me? Oh, that's the Frank Miller.
Yeah, it is so unwatchably bad. Oh, yeah, Gabriel Macht. He's the lead guy in it.
Who's that?
I think he's from Suits. Wait,
Suits?
wait, Gabriel
Oh.
Gabriel Macht.
Macht.
Like Maght?
Yeah, he was in a bunch of movies, none of them good.
It's the lead guy
He
from
looks kind of
Suits.
familiar. Anyway, I mean,
Oh, yeah, he is in Suits. You're right, Colin.
Yeah.
I've never seen a second of Suits though, so
No,
I mean,
neither
have I.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. So I apologize for all.
Hey, he's
the
in
fame.
Sex and the City.
Oh, who was he in Sex and the City?
Barkley
I need to know what episode.
episode
The Dog
models,
Man.
models and mortals.
Okay, he played, I guess, probably the model in that. Yeah, all right. And that's like season 1.
Suits L.A.
Okay.
So wait, April, you were apologizing to the fan of Thunderbirds?
I'm sorry, any Thunderbird 2004 fans who are listening to this who wanted us to do a deep dive.
Jonathan the Frakes is like throwing his headphones at the.
I'm sorry,
TV
Mr.
right
Frakes. I loved your
yeah,
TV
what's
work.
Frake's nickname? Is it just Frakes? Is he like Frakey?
Oh, that was Two Takes Frakes.
Two takes
I
Frakes.
bet
Yeah,
you people
what do
just
I
call
say?
him Frakes. Yeah. But yeah, we.
Do you think he's like, call me Johnny?
Call me Johnny. Johnny F.
He introduces himself, Johnny Frakes.
I do love him. I gotta say, beyond belief, factor fiction, great show.
Never happened.
Never happened.
That was a lie.
Not real.
Not real. We made it up.
Yeah, you know what? He did. He got what the assignment was for this movie. So good for him. If you want
How
to,
rich do you think Jonathan Frakes is?
He's
how
got-
rich? I think he's
Yeah.
like moderately rich.
Oh, come on. He's got that Star Trek money. He's got
Okay,
that
here's
directing
my
money.
question.
Hitting that convention circuit?
Is he on Cameo?
Oh, 100%.
Ooh, that's
I
a
bet.
good question.
I bet.
But I bet
let's
I
look.
bet it's expensive.
How you doing?
He is? It's $300.
Hey,
That's not
that's
insane.
reasonable. That's reasonable.
Wait, what is the like most expensive
Oh yeah,
cameo
because
that you can
remember,
get?
it's like, didn't he congratulate?
What, WHM?
Yeah,
No, they didn't do John Frakes.
did the RLM guys get it for Rich or somebody?
I don't know.
yeah,
but
I think they did.
Colin, do you think you could ever see yourself being on Cameo?
You never
No.
know. Like, if you could, honestly, like the work it involved you'd probably.
I'd be
not-
too lazy.
Exactly.
But here's what I'd say. Colin, get a cameo.
call me Johnny.
The Canadian from Red Letter Media, $500. US.
$500 US.
Wow.
That's significant.
That's like 6,000 Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, who do you
I
think
bet
the most-
you'd get at least 5 people.
I'm gonna.
and your rules are like 10 seconds. I will say your name and that's it.
And I have to say it as Bill Paxton
oh, you do Bill.
or
Hey,
Jonathan.
No, you could say like, I will do the impression of your choice.
No, I'll do it as Jonathan Frakes from that show. And so then they're like,
Actor fiction.
didn't happen.
but you said you would give us, 10 seconds for $500. Never happened.
It was a lie.
It was a lie.
So you just have one video you just send to everyone.
We made it up.
But yeah, as far as like what's the most expensive cameo, I bet they like are not allowed to go over like 5,000 or something.
You should be able to ask for whatever you want.
I'm going to look.
I
Most
guess
expensive
so.
cameo.
Is it like an $100,000 cameo?
Kevin
No.
O'Leary is $1,500.
Kevin O'Leary, the
You know,
financial guy.
I would do it to tell him
Yes.
to fuck off, and he'd probably love that because he'd just like, I just made money.
I'm looking here. Probably some
1,500 is like
sports
nothing.
Such a scumbag.
Iced tea, $600. That's
What?
too cheap. Iced tea.
Just $600?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh man, Chris Diamantopoulos, the voice of Mickey, and Mo from the Three Stooges movie, $400.
oh, that guy.
He's more than Jonathan Frakes?
Yeah,
That makes no sense.
man, he's so buff in the photo. He looks like the Chad guy from like the meme in the photo.
Oh, you sent us a
Plug chin.
picture.
Yep, I just did.
Holy crap, what is he doing?
Oh my God, he's like doing Tai Chi.
He's doing he's like doing blue steel. He's like he's being attacked by people on the beach.
Kevin Smith, $1,000 for a cameo.
Okay, I mean, that sounds about right for Kevin Smith.
I guess that'll fund like his next 6 movies.
But again, it's like,
Caitlyn Jenner, $2,500.
I feel like people are like, well, sure, I'll do this. But also, I don't know. There's
Okay,
something
call it
kind of weird about it.
$5,000. That's what you charge on Cameo.
Okay.
We could use that money.
Me and Joey Pants.
Yeah. So if you want to watch Thunderbirds 2004, you can rent it.
I mean, first of all, why?
Why?
I would,
Don't do
but
it.
I'm gonna say I'm not gonna recommend it, even though it's kind of funny that. Again, the whole Brady Corbet of it all, because I was just like, oh my God, we're just talking about all the Oscar movies on the Patreon this month, and he's in this movie.
That was
and we all know
completely
he
random.
he was in many, many movies. I think I've only seen him in Simon Killer and 13, but
You didn't see the remake of Funny Games?
I haven't seen any of the Funny Games. I'm kind of afraid to be honest.
They come into your house and they beat you up if you watch it.
I don't think they're very funny.
Yeah,
No.
not very funny,
It's
right?
false advertising. I'm bringing them to court, like the person who brought
The Never-Ending
what was
Story.
Drive.
Oh, Drive. Wait, what was that movie where the actress wasn't?
Yesterday, it was the Beatles movie where Anna de Armas is in the trailer and she's not in the movie.
What? And someone sued?
Someone sued them.
Yeah, and they won.
Oh wow.
As they should. False
Man, that's
advertising.
called movie lying. But yeah, it's you can rent it on YouTube, Apple Movies if you want to for $5-ish. But I wouldn't recommend it.
I want to watch the documentary.
The Jerry Anderson documentary, but it's actually quite interesting. So if you want to email the podcast, we're at nosuchthingasabadmovie@gmail.com. We're on Twitter, Bluesky, and Instagram and YouTube at nosuchthingpod. And we're on Patreon, patreon.com/nosuchthingasabadmovie. And if you subscribe at the $5 level, you will get a mini bonus episode every 2 weeks. And next week we are talking the Oscars. So we go through all the nominees. We talk about what we think is going to win, what we think about the movies. It's always a great time. It's probably like my favorite Patreon episode every year, I gotta say, because I love the Oscars, even though they can be annoying sometimes with what they do and do not nominate, but it's always a fun discussion.
Also, if you go to the $5,000 level,
Cameo?
you get a cameo from me.
Cameo from Colin,
Never,
Cameo from the Canadian.
never happened.
the Canadian himself.
And it's just you going, never happened.
It's like a troll cameo.
It's not a thing.
No, nothing.
And if you want to find me, I'm on Bluesky and Instagram at April at Mansky.
You can follow me on Blue Sky, Justin DeClue, DECLOUX. And you can listen to me every week on the Very Fine Comic Book Podcast, where me and my pal Mike Wood talk about very fine comic books.
You can follow me, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA. ZIMA. Never happened.
Never happened.
So that's it for this week. Does anyone remember how the Thunderbirds theme song goes?
Colin?
Dun, 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 dun. Wait. That's something else. Dun, dun, dun,
Never
dun,
happened.
dun. Never happened.
It's close enough. Thanks for joining us.
Play us out with UFO.
I might get copyright
Oh,
struck,
right, yeah.
but I'll try if I can. But thanks for joining us. I'm April Atmansky.
Not a thing.
I'm Justin DeClue.
Never happened. I'm Colin Campbell.
And,
Call me Johnny.
And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.
Not a thing. We made it up.
Johnny F.
Johnny.